At the crowded cafe, my ex told everyone I'd done something unforgivable, and suddenly, people I'd known for years started looking at me like a stranger. Then my best friend pulled me aside and whispered something that changed everything. My hands started shaking. Have you ever had someone twist your story so much that you start doubting your own memories? I never thought it could happen to me, but it did. I'm 26 now, but this all started a couple of years ago, and honestly, I'm still not sure how to feel about it. Here's what happened. A couple of years back, I was in a relationship that, looking back, felt pretty typical for people in their early 20s. We met through mutual friends at a party, one of those nights where you don't expect anything to happen, but you end up talking to someone for hours. We clicked right away. We started dating, and for a while, things were good. We had our routines, late-night walks, binge-watching shows, ordering takeout on Fridays. We had inside jokes, shared playlists, and all those little things that make you feel like you're building something real. But, like a lot of relationships at that age, things started to unravel. We argued more. Sometimes it was about big things, but mostly it was about nothing, just stress, miscommunication, or maybe just growing apart. I remember feeling like we were both trying to hold on to something that was already slipping away. When she broke up with me, it hurt, but I tried to handle it with as much maturity as I could. I told her we could still be friends if she wanted. I genuinely meant it. I didn't want any drama or bad blood. I just wanted to move on and maybe keep some kind of peace between us. I thought that was the right thing to do. But things didn't stay peaceful for long. A few weeks after the breakup, my best friend called me. He sounded off, like he was carrying some heavy news. We met up at our usual spot, a small coffee shop we'd been going to since high school. He looked me in the eye and told me that my ex had said I'd forced her to do things she didn't want to do, sexually. I remember the moment so clearly. It was like the world stopped for a second. I felt sick, like I'd been punched in the gut. I just sat there, staring at him, trying to process what he was saying. I kept thinking, did I miss something? Did I do something wrong without realizing it? I started replaying every moment in my head, searching for any sign that she'd felt uncomfortable or pressured. But the truth is, nothing was ever forced. We were both there, both making choices, both saying yes. I know who I am, and I know what happened between us. My best friend didn't believe her. He's known me since we were kids, and he said it just didn't add up. He told me not to worry, that he had my back. But even with his support, I couldn't shake the feeling of being tainted. It's strange how a single accusation, even if it doesn't go anywhere, can make you question everything about yourself. I started second-guessing my own memories, wondering if I'd missed some sign, some moment where she felt uncomfortable and I didn't notice. I tried to move on. I threw myself into work, picked up extra shifts, tried to keep busy. I stopped going to places where I might run into her. But in a city this size, it's impossible to avoid someone forever. Every now and then, I'd see her across a crowded street or at a party, laughing with friends, looking like nothing had ever happened. I wondered if she ever thought about what she'd said, or if she'd convinced herself it was true. There were nights when I'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying everything in my head. I'd think about the first time we met, the first time we kissed, the first time we slept together. I'd think about all the little moments that made up our relationship, and I'd wonder how it all went so wrong. I'd wonder if there was something I could have done differently, something I could have said that would have changed the outcome. Months went by. I started seeing someone new, a girl I met through work. She was different. Calmer, more grounded. For a while, things felt normal again. I didn't tell her about what happened with my ex. I didn't want to bring that baggage into something new. But the past has a way of catching up with you. One night, my best friend called me again. He sounded tense. He said my ex was telling the same story about her new boyfriend. That hit me harder than I expected. It made me realize that it was never really about me. It was something she was carrying, something she couldn't let go of. I felt a weird mix of relief and anger. Relief that maybe I wasn't the problem, but anger that someone else was going through the same thing. I started to wonder how many people had heard her story about me. Even if my best friend didn't believe her, what about everyone else? What if people were out there thinking I was some kind of monster? It's a hard thing to shake off, even if you know it isn't true. I remember one night, I was out with friends, and I caught someone looking at me a little too long, whispering to someone else. Maybe it was nothing, but in that moment, I felt exposed. I started to wonder if the story had spread further than I thought. I started to feel paranoid, like I was being watched or judged everywhere I went. Then, out of nowhere, she showed up at my work. She looked different, tired, almost fragile. She waited until I was alone, then came up to me. She apologized. She said she was sorry for what she'd said about me, that she was angry and needed someone to blame. She told me she was getting help, that she was trying to figure things out. I didn't know what to say. I just nodded and told her I hoped she found what she was looking for. After that, I tried to let it go. But the truth is, the past doesn't just disappear. Sometimes I wonder who else heard her story, who might still believe it. I wonder if I should have done more, or said something, or tried to clear my name. I wonder if I'll ever really be free of it. Now, at 26, I'm still figuring things out. I'm with someone who makes me feel safe, who doesn't judge me for the things I can't explain. But there are nights when I lie awake, thinking about how easily a story can be twisted, how quickly trust can be broken. I think about how one person's pain can spill over and hurt someone else, even if they don't mean for it to. I've learned that sometimes, closure isn't something you get from other people. Sometimes, you have to find it for yourself, even if it means living with unanswered questions. I still have days when I feel angry, or sad, or just tired of carrying this story around. But I'm trying to move forward, to build something new, to be the kind of person I can be proud of. I don't know if I'll ever get closure. Maybe that's just how life is, messy, complicated, full of unfinished stories. I still have questions I'll probably never get answers to. So, what would you do if you were in my shoes? Do you think people can really change, or do some stories just keep repeating themselves? I'd really like to hear what you think. And if you connected with this story, if it made you think, or if you just want to hear more real, raw stories like this, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow, and it lets me know that these kinds of stories resonate with you. Plus, you'll be the first to know when I upload a new video. Thanks for listening, for being here, and for being part of this community. It means a lot. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and remember, you're not alone in your struggles.